Hello. In this video, we'll talk about how you can keep your, or well, different ways how you can keep your mnemonic safe. So for this example, I will just generate a random mnemonic here over this website, and I will take this one here. So I've got here my mnemonic containing 24 words here. All right, so far so good. I've got that one here. And the safest way would be obviously it only being in the physical world. So meaning that obviously we write it down. So when you have a Ledger Nano S or whatever Ledger Nano X Ledger device, or also all the other hardware wallets, they usually also have a piece of paper where they want you to write it down. So that would be obviously the safest way, not having it digitally stored at all. But aside from that, if obviously, if for example, if you have the piece of paper at home and the whatever your home burns down or you lose the piece of paper, obviously it's also lost. So, it would be always also good maybe having it at least twice and at two different locations. So, for example, that at least if your home for some reason you lose it, that you at least have it, for example, maybe in your parents' house or whatever, somewhere where maybe also the person doesn't know that it's there or something like that. So you should think about possibilities how it can at least have two duplicates, at least have it twice. So if you intend to store digitally, for example, let's say I've got here a new file. I will call it one mnemonic. So obviously its file name isn't that cool, but I will call it like that. So we'll copy that here. So this mnemonic obviously should be safe. So the first thing you could do is you could encrypt it. So if you have Windows 10 Professional, then there's automatically a feature installed, which is the BitLocker. So if you click on right click and go to Properties, you can just go to Security, and you can go to Security and click on Advanced and click on Encrypt Contents to Secure Data. So with that one here, it's automatic, it gets encrypted. So you can see here, encrypt the file in its parent folder, so we will do that. So now this file here is encrypted, meaning that if you copy it, you won't be, so if this file were to leave your computer, you are not able to access the contents. So then you would have to keep your Windows encryption key safe. So that's the next problem there. But for example, if you really intend to store that file on your computer and you know that your computer is fine for now, then you could also store it digitally, but at least I would recommend encrypting it. For example, also another thing you could do is you could use Word and do the same thing again. So we will create another mnemonic here. But so we'll copy it in there, and you could also maybe make a word of it. Then when you save it, then I would recommend though that you, when you save it, you can go to information, and there's the own part where you can click on save and add password, or encrypt with password, and you can add a password here. Using that one, you should obviously remember it's being AES-256 encrypted. And after you have it here, so now I can save it. And if you want to open it, then it would be forced to enter this password. And if you wouldn't know it, it wouldn't be able to open it. So the longer the password, the better. Obviously, because it could be otherwise brute forced. So if you take a long password, it's awesome. Also storing that file, and also would recommend if you intend to store it in a Word file with being encrypted, also maybe why not also enable encryption for on your computer. So it's basically that this file can't leave your computer, and even if somebody has access to your computer and is logged into your account, that the person at least has to enter the password and another password basically. So it's also another layer of protection. So if you really intend to store it digitally, I would go with that way, that at least have it at least have it encrypted. So if you have Windows Pro, then there's automatic. Then you can use the BitLocker. And if you don't, at least encrypt. So basically, protect the file with the word encryption. So we have to count on it, but basically the word. We can just quickly look it up. So the word, as far as I'm concerned, word password encryption, it's using basically AES-256, so that should be rather safe. So even the U.S. Treasury is showing you how you can do that. Okay, right. So if you, like I said, if you intend to do it digitally, then I would do it that way, and it would be nice if you wouldn't be storing any of these files in the cloud. If you ever would intend to do that, I don't know, would at least look that the file I'm storing in there is encrypted. Then it would be, I guess, more okay. But generally, I would not recommend storing your mnemonic basically in the cloud. So meaning not on Dropbox or iCloud or whatever. So all the other cloud solutions where basically the file is not stored physically on your computer. So also another thing you could do obviously is you could remove the password protection and then store it on a USB stick, or also for example use a Word file and put a password protection on it, but not the Windows BitLocker encryption. So then you could store it on a USB stick and also keep that one whatever at your house or at your parents' house somewhere hidden, or you could do well, you could have three, four, or five different ones. The basic gist here is just I would definitely recommend using a non-custodial wallet. So that's why I would recommend like having a software hardware wallet, but then obviously have the problem of keeping your mnemonic safe. And if you don't back up it properly, then there's always the chance that you might lose access to your accounts. So, for example, let's say your mnemonic. So let's say that you lost the files. So let's say they're gone. You don't know where your mnemonic is anymore. The only thing you have is your ledger. The good thing is the ledger is obviously storing your mnemonic on it. You cannot read it, so you can't take it, but you can move your funds. So you could create a new account. You could create new accounts with a new mnemonic basically, and then move your funds. And that in order to again have the mnemonic, so the base mnemonic. So right. So because if you lose your mnemonic, but it's still stored in your ledger, you can still confirm transactions. But you will as soon as the ledger device is broken, you're basically it's over more or less. Because if you don't have access, so like I said, for example, if you have a ledger, like I said, and the mnemonic is gone, then you can only use access your accounts as long as the ledger works. So I would always recommend first knowing where the mnemonic is and also backing it up maybe multiple times. All right, so that's basically it. I hope this was helpful to some extent again. To maybe it was also like new information to you, how you, for example, could encrypt a file using Word, or how you could also encrypt a file using the BitLocker. And right, that's basically it. So thanks for watching, and see you in the next one.